So historically, all the monotheistic faiths trace their lineage to Father Abraham. And Ibrahim alayhi salam in the scriptures is known as the friend of God. This father Abraham, had two famous sons, his most famous sons. The first one is Ismail, and the second one is Ishaq. Ismail alayhi salam, we know, ended up in Mecca, and there he grew up and married and had children and connected with the Arab race and the rest of it. Back in Palestine, where Abraham was, Isaac grew. And when Isaac was in his 60s, he had his son, Yaqub. Yaqub or Jacob is what is known as Israel. So when we say children of Israel, we mean children of Yaqub or children of Jacob. So when we say children of Israel, we do not mean children of Abraham. We do not mean children of Ismail. Israel is Yaqub. Now Yaqub alayhi salam had 12 sons, the most famous of whom is Yusuf alayhi salam. Now we know historically Yusuf ended up in Egypt. You know the famous story. They chucked him in the well, he ended up in Egypt. So there in Egypt, he grew into prominence, he became a big man, and then he called his family to join him in Egypt. So the question here is, in Egypt is Israel, can you see? And all the children of Israel. There's no Israelite left except that he's here in Egypt. So the important question to ask is, when Israel and the children of Israel were here in Egypt, who was in Palestine? Is the indigenous Palestinian. The original Palestinian was there before Abraham. They were there whilst Abraham was there. They were there when this child Yaqub was born. They were there when there was no Israel. Israel had left. There's no Israelite in Palestine. For how many years? Some 5 centuries they're away. So all those years where they're under the yoke of the Pharaoh, where they're being enslaved by Egypt, who is in Palestine? The answer again, the indigenous Palestinian. So this lasted until Moses came. And Moses, you know the famous story, parted the sea, came across, told the people, let's go to the promised land, to the land where our forefathers had come in to settle. They refused to go. So for 40 more years, they dwelt around in the desert, in the wilderness. So Moses died in the wilderness without having to reach Palestine. Later on, Yusha ibn Nun reached, and then the golden age of the Israelites came under Dawood alayhi salam and Sulaiman alayhi salam. This is the age of the Israelites. As Solomon passed away, when he died, his children could not fill his shoes. The shadow was too big. So straight away at his son's time, the kingdom fell apart. Fasad settled in, vice and evil came. The same usury and cruelty and all of this raised its head. So Allah Rabbul Izzah sent upon them the Assyrians. The Assyrians came and attacked, and 10 of the tribes disappeared. After the Assyrians, the Babylonians came and attacked the lower kingdom. The Babylonians burnt their temple. The temple of Solomon was all destroyed. As the verse of the Quran says, they even went inside their dwellings looking for them and took them out and took them as prisoners. There was not a single Israeli left in Palestine by the end of the time of the Babylonians. Then the Persians came, and the Persians tried to be more diplomatic with them. They allowed some of them back, but they were never able to rebuild the original kingdom. The Quran says, وَقَضَيْنَا إِلَى بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ فِي الْكِتَابِ لَتُفْسِدُنَّ فِي الْأَرْضِ مَرَّتَيْنِ وَلَتَعْلُنَّ عُلُوًّا كَبِيرًا. We decreed unto the children of Israel that twice you will rain mischief on earth, and you will reach mighty levels of might and haughtiness and arrogance. Then the Quran says, فَإِذَا جَاءَ وَعَدُ أُولَاهُمَا. When the end of the first rain came, بَعَثْنَا عَلَيْكُمْ عِبَادًا لَنَا أُولِي بَأْسٍ شَدِيدٍ فَجَاسُوا خلال الديار. When the end of the first rain came, we sent upon you our slaves, our servants, mighty and severe, and they chased you within your dwellings, and they captured you and were seeking for you. And then the Quran says, وَكَانَ وَعْدًا مَفْعُولًا. This is a matter already done. So before the Prophet came, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the first of the two kingdoms was already done. Because remember, Allah promised them two kingdoms. لَتُفْسِدُنَّ فِي الْأَرْضِ مَرَّتَيْنِ. Twice you will rain mischief on earth. Notice the fadl of Allah Rabbul Izzah. He didn't say you will rain mischief on earth 10 times. He said marratain, twice. So, and then he told us the first one has happened. So had we read the Quran, we would have known that another one's coming. And the second one came in the current times. And this is the fadl of Allah Rabbul Izzah, that we got to see the fulfillment of the words of Allah Rabbul Izzah. Because just before 48, before World War I, a Muslim would have never imagined, where's this marratain? Where's the two kingdoms? One happened, where's the other one? And tafasir were different. But alhamdulillah, we saw. So how did we get here?